there, and maybe we're already out there live. Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's Everyday Inclusion and Belonging, where we talk about literally everything under the sun when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I have to say this, go Team USA. The International Paralympic Games, just the opening ceremonies were last night. The games are for the next 2 weeks. I will encourage you. It is an awesome opportunity for employee resource groups, for leaders, for teams, to do a little bit of learning, growth, have some fun, watch some of the games together, and challenge a lot of your assumptions and interrupt your unconscious bias around ableism. So I am thrilled this week to be joined by Victor McGuire. It's pretty fun. Victor and I were supposed to meet. We're supposed to do this a couple weeks ago, and I got this message saying, Mo, I'm headed to Jamaica. So I love it. I'm like, yes, Victor, go to Jamaica. So Victor, thrilled that we could make this work. Introduce yourself. You've got a great background that I feel like really led you to where you are today. And I know I won't do it justice.
Well, I am, I guess I got my start. Well, really, it all started for me. The rebirth of Victor started August 19th, 1968, and that was the day I went to Allendale School for Boys, and I was scheduled to stay there a year, and I ended up staying there for 5 years, and it was one of the best things that happened to me. I then went into a foster family, lived with a family of 11 for a year, and then I went to junior college for a year, and then went to Nebraska for undergrad. Decided that I wanted to go to school somewhere where I would not be distracted, and so I looked at a small liberal arts school of 600 students called Doane College, which is now called Doane University, about a half an hour south of Lincoln. Majored in education, did my first couple of years teaching in Lincoln, Nebraska, traveled a year with a group called Up With People in the 80s. That took me to Fort Collins, Colorado, where I started graduate school for my master's, and then I taught up and down the Front Range in Colorado for several years, and then decided to go back to school and get my doctorate and become a university professor, and where I was training teachers and working in curriculum and instruction, and did that for a while at a variety of different universities around the country. And then I went into leadership development and coaching, and I've been doing that for about 8 or 9 years, and started my own company, and then sort of finished a coaching session and asked the question, God, what would it be like if underrepresented, underserved Black and Brown people had the same access to coaching as everyone else? And so then I said, this sounds like a nonprofit. So then I started what's over my shoulder called Coaching for Everyone. And that has led us to this. And that's where we are right now.
And I have to say, Victor, we were introduced by a mutual friend. And when she told me what you were up to, and actually there's a great article in Forbes. It was Forbes, right? Or Fortune.
Correct.
Forbes.
Correct.
So we'll put the link. We'll put the link to your article in the comment section as well. She told me what you were up to. I read that article. You and I talked. And I was like, oh, we have to amplify this with the idea. So just in a nutshell, what is Coaching for Everyone? And sort
Coaching
of
for Everyone.
Where are you? What's the vision?
It's got two missions. One is we wanted to offer coaching for the BIPOC community and underserved, underrepresented people that one couldn't afford it and or didn't even know what it was. But we wanted to offer, what would it be like if they had executive level coaching, just like people at all different entities where I coach? I just said, what it would be like. So that's one of the missions. And then the other mission was Well, let's really look at the coaching industry as a whole, because we know it's predominantly white female and white male, and we said, what would it be like um, if it were diversified? If it was democratized, and so we decided to provide coach training for for BIPOC individuals that were interested in becoming a coach. And so then we partnered with our first partner was with a Coactive Training Institute, CTI. And we've just also solidified a partnership with IPEC Coaching Training Institute. So the idea is that how do you diversify? Well, you get people in coaching training programs and you put them through the program, and now they become coaches out there. So we'd like to start off with 100, 150 in our first year, and then just continue to gradual move up till we're at 500 or 600 a year that are going through a coach training program.
We talk a lot about ripple effect at
Mm.
Moxie and Everyday
Mhm.
Inclusion and how the impact. So I think about for myself, right? When I'm choosing whether it's a coach or a doctor or there are certain experiences that I'm saying, I really want somebody who identifies as a woman,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Because I have a set of experiences that I think are that I want them to understand that set of experiences firsthand.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's a part, and I always say, like, you want your coaches, you want your mentors to be across the spectrum, and there is absolutely this powerful place of if I were a Black woman, not having to explain my experience as a Black woman and having my
Mhm.
executive coach understand what that is.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we're hearing, even as our coaches are going through coach training, because they look around the room and they're seeing 20 other people that look like them, and they haven't been in a training like that before. We're hearing that from the instructors who look around the room and say, we've never taught a class like this before. And so it's very empowering. It's very transformational. That's the word that we're hearing. And so we just want more of the same.
And right now, so you are sending people through the training in cohorts, and it's
Mhm.
interesting. But way back when, Victor, this feels like almost another lifetime for me. I went through a coach certification, and
Mm.
there was that cohort piece was really important as well.
Mhm.
So you've
Mhm.
taken one or two cohorts through, and you're actually accepting applications right now for two more
Right.
cohorts.
Right. So we have two cohorts going on right now with CTI. We're going to start two more with CTI, and then we're going to start a cohort with IPEC. And so that's a total of 40 total with CTI, and then 45 with IPEC.
That's
So you
great.
can see our numbers are just going up, and we're about a day or two away of making another announcement for another partnership, but we just have to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Can't quite do it.
Can't quite do it yet.
We'll put that in the comments once you can, right? Because it's
Yes,
recording
yes.
up. So what is that process? So let's talk about what that process looks like. What does a cohort look like? And then sort of who are the folks that are raising their hands and saying, do they
Yeah,
corporate, are they nonprofit, are they across the board?
yeah, across the board. They are people that one resonated with it right off, and they're sort of coach-like already in the work that they're doing. They just weren't certified. They were
Right,
already doing a lot of this work, but they just weren't certified yet.
right.
And in order to continue to move through the world of coaching now, you're much better off, to get that certification. Within the CTI model, there's 5 courses that they take, and then they go through certification. And so the coursework is they take a course every month, and It is an introduction to all the basics around coaching, and so far so good. They have bonded extremely well, and they look forward to their monthly visits. But now they're getting ready to go into pods of 9, and they'll have a deeper learning, and that's what the certification process will provide.
So what is a time, and I know one of the women that's going through the cohort, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to her about it. Like, what's the time commitment? Do you have most people that are working full time?
Yeah. It's for instance, a class with CTI is generally 3 days over 3 days within the month, like a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, or a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So they got the choice to pick which cohort they wanted to be in, and then it's all day. And then when they're off, they're practicing their coaching, they're reading, they've got work to do, they've got homework to do. But it's the word that I hear on a consistent basis is transformative.
Yeah.
Is transformative. I got a text today. I am so grateful to be a part of the first CFE cohort. Life-changing is an understatement.
Yeah.
That said, I would love to participate with the evaluation of future applicants.
Right. So
That just,
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I think, right, you're transforming and the people that are going through the program, and then the people that they'll coach.
Absolutely. And that's that ripple effect. That's that ripple effect. And
what's the vision? How many coaches?
Well, we don't want to put a ceiling on how many, but we did have a goal for this year, which we will exceed. But we wanted to put 100 coaches through a certification program. And so once we start with the next group, we'll be past 100. We'll be it's 80. Put us about 125, with more cohorts coming. So we will probably be at 175 within the first year of coaches that are at some stage of their coach training program. But we can see between 350 and 450 a year.
And then I start to think about, it's almost like an alumni network.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And the web and the reach and the impact of that alumni network.
Absolutely. Yes, we are starting a membership organization that will be called the Coaches of Color Network. .org. And so now we will be employing all coaches of color and allies to join the organization, and it will be an organization just like any other kind of national organization, where we will offer webinars, seminars, face-to-face, and the magazine. And so we're working on that infrastructure as we speak.
I love that. If I'm a leader in an organization, I hope that those of you that are watching can imagine what this would feel like if you put, if this was professional development for some of your folks internally, and they go through this program, so the transformative impact for them, and them serving as coaches internally.
Absolutely.
Right. And I'm seeing a link to employee resource groups, right? And and succession planning.
Yes.
And my head's in the corporate space, right? I can nonprofit education, right? All of that. Such a powerful model, Victor. I'm excited to talk to you in a year
Mhm.
and just
Mhm.
see sort of what are some of the things that have happened um, when you project out even 2 years.
Mhm.
Um, so you've got these ongoing cohorts, you've got the organization going,
Mhm.
you're starting to hear stories from the people that have been coached.
Mhm.
Um, there are just so many beautiful things that are going to come from
Mhm.
this. That, I mean, that was
Absolutely.
really when I, had the introduction. I was like, oh, I cannot wait to amplify this. I can't wait. I mean, because it's just so cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are things that will happen, frankly, that we don't even know.
Right, right.
There are
Well, and,
things that will happen that we don't even know.
I think
We,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, 3 weeks ago, I did not know that I was going to be the keynote speaker for the Arizona chapter um, of the ICF in Arizona. I did not know that. So
That,
now I'm the
that's
keynote
the National
speaker.
Coach Federation. For those of you that don't know
Yeah.
what the CF is,
Yes.
they're kind of the big deal in the coaching industry.
Exactly. And so we are looking at a way that we can support ICF chapters in helping them to diversify their coaching community. And looks like Arizona will be one of the first ones that we will work on that with. But ideally, you want 25 of those states or 30 of those states to be able to do that. So
Well,
there's things that will happen that we just don't even know.
and I see this model, right, when we're talking about underrepresented groups,
Mm-hmm.
right? I see a model where it's like, now we have this people with disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
LGBTQ plus, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
different communities where there really is this opportunity where there aren't as many folks coaching
Mm-hmm.
being
Mm-hmm.
coached, right? And this model, and then really lifting communities.
Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, we know that there's an under-resourced and underserved grouping out there, and it would probably take a lifetime to reach them all. But this is where we're starting, and we feel good. We feel good with this population, and we've got good work to do. It's a lot of logistical work on the back end, but it's good work.
It is
It's
good
good
work.
work. Mm-hmm.
So, what are 2 or 3 things that anybody that is a part of the DEI community, right, the people that are a part of the everyday inclusion community, what are some things that they can do to support?
Geez. Well, you sort of alluded to that. If there are individuals within the corporate world that say, hey, this would be a great place for us to send a few of our people
Yeah.
through a coach training program, this is the time. This is exactly the time to do it.
How long
Um,
are those
we,
cohort applications open, Victor?
they're open for about another, till about, what is today? Till about the 10th
Okay,
of, yeah, till about the 10th of September. So they're open for, a couple of weeks.
great.
They're open for a couple of weeks, depending on the program, because they're staggered programs. So, but if someone or an org is interested in putting their BIPOC employees through a coach training program, um, this experience will be like no other experience that they would be able to have.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Period. Yeah.
right, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I wanted to find one of the coaches that has been through your program, how does one go about doing that? Right? Maybe I'm saying we've identified some high potentials in our organization, and I would
Mm-hmm.
love to look at some of the coaches that have been through Coaching for Everyone program.
Yeah, I think it could be orchestrated by just, contacting me directly through Coaching for Everyone. And because none of our coaches yet are official alumni, they're still
Close.
literally in the middle of the program, but they they will have communication with this new group that will be starting in October and in November. So that's an easy connect to be able to do that.
Because I can see both, right? I want to put people through, and
Mhm.
I think that, I've got these hypos that I want coached by somebody that's been through this program.
Yes, yes,
So that's going to be a
absolutely.
pretty pull down directory, right? Where I can look at
At some point, yes.
Just give me
Absolutely.
ideas, Victor. If you don't
Yes. At some point, absolutely.
This has been just an absolute delight. Like I said, I can't wait to talk to you in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. It's one of those things to me, Victor, that like when I heard about it, I was like, but of course we need that.
Absolutely.
But why has it taken so long? Right? Like it was one of those needs that was just so glaring. It's exciting to see this get legs and take off. And
Absolutely.
I just absolutely wish you the best, and everybody the support that you can give, because anybody that has been has had a coach, the power and the impact of that. The lift that it gives you in all areas of your life. And then imagine, like you were saying, gosh, I have somebody sitting across the table who understands my experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Mo, we really appreciate the amplification.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
thank you for
We talk about AAA, allyship, amplification, and efficacy. So you got all three in us, Victor. We are big fans. I want you to leave me with one last truth bomb.
One last truth bomb. You know what, Mo? If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Yeah.
So in supporting CFE, it's time to do something different.
Yes. Yep.
It's time to do something different. How's that?
Past time.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for who you are in the world, for sharing what you're up to. And I would say just keep at it. Y'all, everything that you can do to support Coaching for Everyone, great program. The amazing ripple impact this is going to have. Man, Victor, I'm already, the partnerships you could do with HBCUs.
Absolutely.
I'm already like, oh, and then you could do some things with the Divine Nine, and then you could be doing some things with, yep.
It's endless. It's endless.
It's endless. This is going to be great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
I am off next week. I'm off the grid, taking vacation. We'll see you the week after. And in the meantime, do the next right thing. Bye,
Thank you, Mo. Take care.